Hey y'all, I see
Peace,
everybody in the
fam.
comments already.
Hey, family in the comments. Love y'all.
Hey, yes, they ready.
Let's go.
Hey Pinky. Hey Terrence. Hey Raven. Uh hey Soleil, I see you in there. She said, "Peace, Tiffany Hills. Peace,
Peace,
everyone."
babe. Peace. Hey, Philip. Philip be leaving me the nicest comments. He just be so sweet.
Philip been around for a long time. Hey Philip. We Okay, so today, y'all, I said we got a special video. Let me give a proper introduction. If you've never been here before, my name is Mook. This is So It Is Written. And I created this channel so that as I heal, y'all can heal too, right? So I talk about Tiff all the time. If you've seen any of my videos, then you know I talk about Tiff all the time. I don't care, I don't care, I don't care. I've been
Thank you.
watching her videos since the beginning, of my journey. I was like, yes. And then, we soul family, and then we get even deeper confirmation yesterday because Tiff got the same birthday as my great granny, and I said, "Oh, that's what it was." That just gives me all the confirmation I need. So, yes, everyone, this is Tiffany Hills, the fairy godmother, and so if you are new to either one of us, then I'm gonna give a chance for everybody to hear, Tiff and kind of like explain like how she got on the path and kind of just introduce herself. A lot of y'all do know both of our channels, and some of y'all don't. So um, I'll let you introduce yourself, Tiff, and tell everybody like what it is that you
Peace,
do and kind of how you
Kevin.
got on this path and everything. Hey, Kev.
All right. Well, I'm formerly known as Tiffany Messenger. If I could have remained Tiffany Messenger, I would have. I love that name, and I loved my honey who passed on, who I got the name from. So I came into consciousness. I would say metaphysical consciousness about 2010, but I was always into like new age and asking questions. Just how we all say when we're young, we were always conscious. But I really started walking the path and studying and doing the work. I really didn't know anything outside of Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, Marianne Williamson. The list goes on, but it was just something was missing. I was like, it's just something missing. And
Mm-hmm.
so I came across Panic. Make a long story short, Panic was talking about Aaliyah. And I was like, oh, this ain't true. This. Mm-mm. And I remember Spirit saying to me, you do the same thing when you do poems at funerals. So from then, I started listening to Panic, and then it led to Brother Bobby, and then Dr. Valentine, Sister Myra. I love Sister Myra. Dr. Jewel, Dr. Blair. I mean, and the list goes on and on. And I just started my channel. I just started sharing. I wasn't trying to be a teacher. I just started sharing my spiritual experiences, and here we are.
Yes, I love that. Hey, TJ. Peace, TJ. Peace to everybody coming
Peace.
in. Make sure y'all like the video, please. Uh, that supports the channel as well. Like, share, comment, subscribe, donate. We're gonna have a lot of things to talk about today. It's gonna go wherever spirit takes it because we have like had a topic and then it changed and then it changed and then spirit was like, okay, but what about this? And what about this? And then every day it's like, okay, but I got more downloads. It's like every day
Right.
there's some more downloads. So I'm like, we're gonna start with the summer solstice and all these different type stuff, but you brought up a really good point, and I don't want to miss it because I didn't bring my notebook in the car with me. But you talked about how you started out with like a Panic, and then it became like Sister Myra and all those. And I feel like, what do you think that is that makes us all gravitate to a certain teacher? Because when I first came in, it was Bobby and Dr. Blair. That was the first one, and I was like, "Oh, I'm good. I'm set." Then I see C. Freeman L, and I was like, "Oh, okay." And then so then
My
the
favorite.
layers come on, and those is my like, oh my gosh, I
Tops.
listen to them is my top ones right there, and I listened to their information and everything, and it just was like light a fire in me that I could not even explain, especially listening to Bobby, and then when I first started on with myself, I was just sharing. I'm like, oh yeah, you do these spiritual things, like trying to keep it light because I'm like, I don't know what people do or don't do, but I'm just sharing me, like what
Mm-hmm.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I say all that to say, like, how I gravitate towards a certain teacher or something like that. Like, what do you think that is that just like, okay, we have all of them, we respect all the master teachers and the work that they put in, but there's those ones where you like, that's my one right there.
I really think what I know is vibration. And
Mhm,
Brother Bobby said that all the time, and I believe it's uh Islamic saying or something like that, where there'll be an angel on every corner in the last days. And we gravitate towards what the teachers who incarnated at a certain time to do a certain work. And so that's why when we're doing our work, it's so much bigger than us. We don't know who we touching. We don't know. When we going through these experiences, we're not going through them just by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We going through it for thousands, probably even millions people on the planet and off planet. So I believe those particular teachers, I believe we are connected, or we all connected anyway. We're, part of the collective. But I believe those certain teachers that be like, the one for you or the two for you or the three for you, I think we are definitely family. I think we had soul contracts before we came here, and that's just that. And certain people gonna resonate and certain people gonna not, but that doesn't mean just because somebody doesn't resonate with you that they're not talking about the truth, because they resonate with
mhm,
somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's different.
mhm.
It's levels to this. Yep.
Yeah, I agree with that because even like when I first heard, I had always resonated with Sirius, and
Hmm.
everything. And then when I heard Bobby speak about Sirius, I'm like, oh, we're family. That's what it was. Oh, okay. So okay, we're family. I'm like, yeah, the same way
Yeah.
you say that. Like,
Thank you,
that
babe.
makes sense to me. So I'm like, okay. So I feel like as a lot of us, even when I was watching your stuff, and I'm like, oh, and this is when early on I was watching your videos, so I probably had like max like 50 subscribers, 100 subscribers at the time. So
Hmm.
ain't nobody even watching my channel yet. So then when I was watching your videos, and I would be like, oh, I had that download. Oh, yes, like, it would be the same like resonant energy. So I think that vibration is extremely like important. But um to
Okay, hold, move.
segue, go
Let
ahead.
me just, before you go there, let me just say I would not be where I am had it not been for Masterly Foolish. He's
Oh
seen my
yeah.
videos, and I was, watching his videos all the time. It's like he would drop, and I'd be like that. Everything he dropped would be on time, and so we became cool. And he started sharing my videos, and really, that is what really took me. You know what I'm saying, to a
To the
broader
next
audience.
level.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I gotta send some love to Masterly Foolish.
for
Thank you, my
sure.
love. Yes.
For sure, definitely love Masterly Foolish. He definitely, um, I just forced him to be my friend. I was like, listen, I want to be friends with you, sir. And look at that, it's 11:11 in front of me on that car. And
Hey,
I was
11,
like,
11.
when I first, even when I got on Masterly Foolish's channel, also I was like, sir, I'm like, hey, a friend just had told me, and I don't even talk to her no more, but she had told me like, submit your videos. And see, he wasn't even taking like submissions or anything like that at the time. I was one of the first people where he was just like, oh, okay, like, sure, I'll
Hmm.
put your video. This resonate. This makes sense. Whatever. Where he would like, started taking people who were not the already known master
Right,
teachers,
right, right, right.
outside of you, who he would post a video. So then when he had like put me on there, it was like, then it was like, okay, it was like another doorway had opened. But
Hmm.
then I was like, I need to talk to you on the phone because how did you had posted this and blah, blah. So we would just start chopping it up. And I know he's
Hmm.
like, this girl is nuts. But we was like, oh, it was real tight. And so I definitely have to shout him out because he definitely showed
Definitely.
a lot of love and connected a lot of people. And I'm just so
Exactly.
grateful.
Yes.
Yeah, and so when I used to go look at those videos when he had the channel up and running and stuff, and like I would look at your videos, I look at my videos, or just any people who was coming on. I'm talking about I only got 5,000 something subscribers like right now, even,
Hmm.
but I went on his page, it would have like 50,000, thirty
Yeah.
thousand, and I'm like, how is this even happening? Like I
I'm
was just
still
like, oh,
asking.
that's
I'm
the
like,
net,
well, how do I supposed to get? Like, what do y'all be doing? What y'all be putting in the
yeah.
Kool-Aid?
Yeah, because I was like, oh
I
man,
think the
but it was
max I have ever had was 4,000, and then somebody with a bigger platform will always pull me onto theirs. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
we do what we
Hmm.
supposed to do. It works out how it's
Yeah,
supposed to.
the people who is supposed to see you, they will see you for
Mhm.
sure. There's no
Mhm.
way to escape it. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful for Massively Foolish. He definitely he did his job in that realm for
Yes.
sure.
Yes.
And then you had said something about activation. So one of the other things that I wanted to talk about too, since we were just gonna go with it and see what downloads came through. You had talked about activations. Now we had talked about C. Freeman L and how the meditations were so important right
Mhm.
now. And you did this mini channel. So if y'all have not seen Tiff's channel on Mini Ripperton, y'all need to go check it out. I will link it
Mhm.
below after the video. But on her channel, it's not that many videos ago, but she talks about Mini
Mhm.
Ripperton and a channeling, right? And so a lot of us will have like inner ear activations where your inner ear, sometimes it'll feel like an earache, sometimes it'll feel like ear infection, sometimes it'll feel like that ear is ringing. You'll hear that ringing in those ears, and a lot of activations happen that way because what's happening is we're coming into higher dimensions, we're coming into
Mhm.
different realities, and you're hearing that vibrational shift happen, right? That
Mhm.
frequency is changing. So when you said tap into many, oh my goodness, my inner ear was going off. And I'm like,
Mhm.
oh, she not playing. Like I felt activated. And she has like
Mhm.
her music was beautiful. And it's so she's
Beautiful.
such a fairy though. Like
All
I was
day.
like, oh my goodness. Like she had a song. I want to say one of them is she talked about the carnival in one of her songs, and she had talked about
Mhm.
like flowers and most. I said, oh yeah, she definitely has that
Yep.
vibration.
Mhm.
And so tell us about like throat activations because that's been so heavy lately.
Well, it seems, I'm the type of person I don't I'll be on, and when spirit is talking, and then when the spirit ain't talking no more, I'll be somewhere off, studying and just experiencing and living my life. And so when I start to get channels, it's usually I'll like see somebody video, or I hear a song, and then it'll just keep repeating, like, you know what I mean? I'll see something else about that person that, and it says, okay, let me go check it out. And so when Minnie was coming through, she had came through Shantae Moore, one of the videos I shared on the video you talking about in the comment, I mean in the description. And she went under the ocean, behind the moon, through the sun when she was, oh my God. And so Minnie was coming through. And so, okay. And then so you just start, putting the pieces together. And next thing you know, they're giving you messages. And sometimes when they're giving you messages or you're receiving a channel, you have to start talking about it in a video in order for the channel to go through. Because sometimes you don't get the full channel. You have to start
Mm-hmm.
talking. And then once you start
Mm-hmm.
talking, they're like, oh, okay, so you getting it with everybody else. And
Right.
so with the activation with the crystal cities, when she came back and said that it's internal and it's in the brain, it made so much sense. Um, a lot of us we are conscious, but a lot of us are not dealing with our traumas.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm seeing over and over again. And so these crystal cities, like we'll start putting all this, trying to turn our bullshit into spirituality, because we, on one hand, we these geniuses, and on the other hand, we don't want to let go, or we don't want to deal with it. And so it will it will take you over, and then it will, superimpose itself like it's consciousness. And so when we're destroying these crystal cities, we're destroying those timelines, we're destroying those levels, we're destroying those entities and energies, those lower level entities and energies. And you had said, like, the inner ear, if you're feeling any type of discomfort, it's a blockage. That's why I always say do the ear candling. Any type of pain is a blockage somewhere in the body. Um, you should just really be hearing ringing. You know what I'm saying? Once you're clear, like a ringing in your ear. And then that's just really, it'll start pointing you into numerology. It'll start pointing you into things that you really wasn't interested in, or you didn't think were valid. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so with that activation, all the good stuff come up. Brother Bobby said it. All the good stuff come up and all the bad stuff come up. And so when the good stuff in the bad, you have to learn to balance it. So if you got to cry them tears, cry them tears. If you have to go and time travel, through that meditation I had told you about, to go back
Mm-hmm.
into your past to retrieve, the little you, or whatever you have to do, spirit will show you. You know what I'm saying? And you have to do the work. You is no way around it, because when the event happens, whatever. vibration you are resonating on, your true colors will be shown. It's
Mm-hmm.
going it's going down. It's not a game and it's not a joke. We have time to prepare. So hope that answers it.
Yeah, no,
Mm-hmm.
that's good. I was because I know we talked about having those activations, but even like and why it's so important to like tune into those channelings, like how I was
Mm-hmm.
saying with many, it's important to tune into those channelings also because even the like the frequency and the sound of your voice, the
Mm-hmm.
frequency and the sound of my voice, the frequency of Minnie's voice is
Mm-hmm.
activating me. The frequency
Mm-hmm.
that, like, when you told me to listen to C. Freeman meditations, just the
Mm-hmm.
frequency of his voice is going to give me the activation because we
Right.
have that soul family connection. So I
Yes.
think when we're resonating, that's a part of resonance, right? It's like
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
vibration. When that
Mm-hmm.
vibration hits you, whether it be through the voice, through song, through meditation, like that is going to activate you. So it's important to like listen to those things. Even if I just have it running in the background,
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm still gonna get the downloads that are supposed to come to me, right? Or,
Yes.
anything like that. So I'm like a lot of ear activations and throat activations is what I've noticed just as like this solstice energy has come in. Like those are the two things that I've noticed most. Like dealing with
Mm-hmm.
like Minnie with the throat, dealing with, and
Mm-hmm.
she told you Leontine, right? Is that the
Leotine
name?
Price. Yep, the opera
Leontine
singer. Oh my
Price. Yep.
God.
So those kind of things, like those are activations. They're activating us through their throat
Mm-hmm.
chakra. So,
Mm-hmm.
and when we listen to our soul family, it's like I have some people like long time ago, like how you had brought up naturally foolish. Some people would leave comments like, "Oh, I just don't like her voice," and it's like because it's not for you. If you don't
Right.
like my voice, I'm not supposed to be activating you. This is for the
Right.
people who can. If you can sit and listen to this, if you're listening to the sound of my voice, what Bobby you say? If you listen to the sound of my voice right now, you already where you're supposed to be at.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
that tells you when when I tune into your channels or and people tune into me, I feel the same way. If you tapped
Mm-hmm.
in and tuned in, you already where you're supposed to be at. You
Mm-hmm.
already made your shift. You already because you're here. You're in the
Mm-hmm.
vibration, so you
Mm-hmm.
can't miss where you're going.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I love that. But speaking of the solstice in preparation, we talked behind the scenes and you told me a lot about preparing, and I also have been getting that download about preparing, right? In
Mm-hmm.
preparation.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about the download about preparation. What does that look like for us right now?
Oh my goodness, the preparation is kind of heavy because when it's telling us to prepare, what I got is telling me to prepare the emotional body for loss. And what I mean by loss is like people we love,
Mm-hmm.
and when we leave, when somebody we love leaves here, we go through this stage of grief, and sometimes we don't find our way out of that. So when we see death through another light and just see it as a doorway, and they just making it to the party before we do, and because their energy must be transmuted, you know what I mean? It's not like they going and everybody they perish and that's that. It's just their vibration wasn't able to hold them here. You see what I'm saying? Or to for them to flourish here. You know what I'm saying? Through these next stage of events. Well, that's what it's telling. Like prepare your emotional body, empty yourself. You know what I'm saying? Brother Bobby
Mm-hmm.
used to say it, and I'm understanding it when he said, "Go to no self." You know what I'm saying? I don't really. That's why I changed my name up when I feel like it. I don't want to be tied to my ego. I don't want my spiritual walk to become my ego. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to miss the mark. I want to be as sincere as I possibly can. You know what I'm saying? When I am imparting or sharing, whatever teaching, whatever it is I'm doing, I want it to be 100. You know what I'm saying? And if it ain't, just cut me off. You know what I'm saying? Cut me off.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know I've seen my past videos when I was Tiffany Messenger and I would have those channel videos and I see the power in them. And then I'm like, let me just talk about this. It wouldn't feel the same. You know what I mean? I
Mm-hmm.
could see right through myself. And I was like, I don't want to be that. If I'm not getting the message, I'm somewhere being quiet. You know what I'm saying? I don't, this is not a competition. It's not a
Mm-hmm.
popularity contest. This is, this is the real deal, Holyfield. This is
Mm-hmm.
the real deal. Like you fighting some real deal entities, energies. They come on you. Like yesterday, you know what I'm saying? I just felt this energy just come over me, And I was cool. You know what I mean? I'm pretty much a balanced person, but I just felt this energy come over me. I just wanted to just, I just make you feel a little unbalanced. You know what I'm saying? You're doing
Mhm.
something and you
Mhm.
leave it and you go back to get it and you forgot that you was doing it and then you over here, you doing this. And I was like, oh, hold on. Let me get settled. Let me go into meditation. Let me just sit. Let me balance myself. Let me stop. Let me
Mhm.
breathe. You know what I mean? And just because
Mhm.
those energies, I'm telling you, this is not a game and it's not a joke. At this point at this point, if you want some bullshit, that's your ass.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna show. And
Yeah.
spirit will. I used to feel like if I ever didn't want to do this, I wouldn't
Mhm.
have to do this. And then I was like going through the motions of having not been on my spiritual path, and it dawned on me like, oh, you ain't got no choice. This is Death Row Records. This is oh, this is okay. Yeah, that's what this is. This is it. Okay, because
Yep.
y'all make it seem like it's free will, but it's not giving
Mm-mm,
free will. It's
mm-mm,
giving that if I
mm-mm.
don't do this, it's going to be terrible. Like
Yeah.
it be, tower moments after tower moments. Where it's like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, why is this not aligning? But as soon as I get back on my path, as soon as I start doing my work, everything balances itself out.
Mhm.
And so I'm like, there's a reason for that, and I think it's to keep us in that lane. It's to keep
Mhm.
us on the path. It's like that's why you see things, but a lot has to fall away. I'm also
Mhm.
realizing that a lot has to fall away. So like getting the emotional body ready for this loss and things like
Mhm.
that. It's like we it's one of those things where we could think that
Mm,
we are past something or
mm.
we
You
think
got
that
that
we
right.
mastered it and then
Mhm.
it comes up again and you're like, oh, I have not conquered
Mhm.
this. Like I
Mhm.
am not where I thought I was or where I even wanted to be in that aspect, especially when it comes to loss, because I still be, anxious about certain ones. Like, oh, I know that this may, feel, but then, like you said yesterday, you're like, nope, don't go down that road. I'm like, okay, you're right, because I was like,
Mhm.
oh, I could feel it, So it's like, let me
Mhm.
work on that. Let me really get myself, aligned and prepared in that way to make sure that what is falling away and what needs to transition, because really it's
Mhm.
just transition,
Right.
what needs to transition, let it transition, because that
Mhm.
also means that we too transition.
Yes.
We too are coming into a new space. So, you know, what other ways besides meditation should we prepare the emotional body? What is that? Should we be eating a certain way? Like, what does that
Mhm.
look like?
I think the major thing is spending time outside.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Cold, hot, spring, whatever that may be. Spend most of your time outside. Walk. Take the music out your ears. Don't play no music. Just listen to nature. Take in the sunlight. Smell. Be as present as possible. Um, of course, diet is important. You know what I'm saying? Your body will tell you what you should be eating and what you should not be eating. We should know the game by now. You know what I'm saying? We should know
Mm-hmm.
about fasting. We should know about intermittent fasting. Getting off the meat for a certain amount of time for those people who eat meat, just so your body would be light. I would listen to high vibrational, whatever it is, let it be high vibrational. Don't even dip over in some mess just because you're curious. Let me what they talking about. Don't even risk the chance of something attaching itself to you of a low vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Um, really get into self, and this is what I mean by that. Know who you are, and
Mm-hmm.
that can sound real basic, but you have to know. I mean, we quote the master teachers all the time. I can't be a baby Bobby. I got to be Tiffany. You see what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
so, who am I outside
Right.
of this certain belief system we may have at one level, and the next time, we own this and this and this and that. But like, who am I really? If the shit hit the fan and the sky cracked open, and we say done with our fears, who would you be? Like, how would you react to that if you lost your whole family? And I'm not really trying to stick on loss, but I'm just saying, like, this ain't no game. I can't even
Mm-hmm.
play like I can't even be like, oh, this is so great, and I'm about to doomsday. It's gonna be some major loss because you have to realize the earth has always done. population control. It happens in the animal kingdom. It happens out in nature, and it has to happen. The planet is very overpopulated is an understatement. So a lot of people will be leaving. You see what I'm saying? They will be leaving, and some of these people have accomplished their mission just because they didn't come into metaphysics like we did. Metaphysical the level, their path may have been a prostitute. Their path may have been a rapist. Their path may have been whatever it was, and they completed their mission. Because when you leave this body, you know what I'm saying, you better know who you were before you left it.
Yeah.
If you had the opportunities, if you got the warnings, if somebody, if the information came across your path and you was cool on it, you're going to be held accountable for that, because there was somebody you were supposed to wake up. I remember when I say C. Freeman L be breaking it down, he said,
don't he?
This is what he said in one of his videos. He said, it was a guy who said, I went to jail, but I didn't do nothing. I was arrested, and I didn't even do anything. And so C. Freeman L said, you went to jail for something you didn't do. You were supposed to do something and you did not do it. So therefore, you went to jail for something you didn't do. Right. So we can't, be playing around with this. If you are called, if you have a certain work to do, you better be about that business. Right. Point blank, period. Yeah.
That is exactly right. And I'm like, that should hit hard for a lot of people. It hit hard for me because I say the same thing all the time. When I know, like, and I've given people, 888. I've given people a lot of, of my own experience where it's like, listen, when I did not do what I was supposed to do, this happened. This is how things took place. And we can't escape the not so good feelings of the journey or the, perceived obstacles, right? And we all here to learn something. So it's like, once we come here into this body, we learn whatever we need to learn. We go on and we continue, and we continue to do the rest of our work in another space and time and realm and dimension, however it goes. But you don't want to be one of those people that's caught at the wrong place at the wrong time, where you were supposed to be like, you know what, spirit told me take a left and I took a right and ended up on the wrong, the wrong end of things, and it could be something so minuscule. It could be something so small, and you like, dang, spirit told me to do this, So I think it's very important. And I was saying about following your intuition, you got to know, like, spirit's gonna be very loud about it, and spirit will repeat it. It's not like, but it's very clear. And I understand if it's confusing for me, if I'm confused on it, then I know it's not from spirit, and it potentially is from my ego or other spirits that want to interfere and whatever the case may be. But spirit is very clear. And spirit will repeat itself. And when you get a call, it don't stop calling. That's how a calling works. It's gonna keep calling you. It's hey, Tiff.
Well, you gonna get a couple warnings, and then that brick wall
and then
gonna be
after
there.
That, right? And then you like, okay, well, why am I? Everything was just flowing. So I love it when I feel like I'm in the flow of my downloads and everything is very fluid. And I'm like, oh, it's going okay. Boom. Here's okay. Boom. I'm on it. And then you can tell immediately when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, because that resistance, that friction that you feel, it don't feel the same. It don't feel the same. You like, the trees stop talking to me too. Like, dang, everything.
you try to make a spiritual moment, right?
You like, oh, was that 11:11? No, that's 2:11. Okay, no, like, you be looking for it. You're like, dang, what happened? I am off, So I'm like, but then as soon as you get back on, you like, okay, here we are. We're back in the flow. Okay, because it don't feel the same. And you can tell like that frequency is not the same. So I'm like very, very cautious of when I'm not in the flow now, and very conscious of it just because I don't want to get caught in these other lower timelines, like you said. So you had talked about creativity and collapsing these timelines. What is it about our creativity that we need to be doing? Because I know that was a message that I got too, that creativity collapses timelines. Like, why do you think that is right now? It's so important for us to be creative.
That's your lifeblood. You know what I'm saying? That's what and who we are. We've been taught to, march along with everybody else, but all of us are so unique. And when we standing in our own uniqueness and our own brilliance and our own genius, you know what I mean? We create beautiful things. And so, with being creative, it's everything. You do it anyway. You see what I'm saying? You do it anyway. But when you are deliberate, you unlock certain things in yourself, latent powers, things that have been laying dormant. You get the downloads when coloring, you know what I'm saying? Painting, drawing a picture. You ain't got to be the best artist. Just draw. You know what I'm saying? Just do something with your hands. Get your glue gun out. Just decorate. You know what I'm saying? Do something that you don't normally do, and make sure that you are enjoying it. Right? Because it's a whole lot of us out there who write, and it don't make no sense that all of us are not published or self-published,
Right.
because we have all these amazing stories just sitting in us. You know what I mean? Oh, when I get time, and it's gonna be too much work, but when you write, it's so therapeutic. And so when you out and just be, and you're not even, I'm not even saying like be creative to have a spiritual experience. Being creative is spiritual. You see what I'm
Right.
saying? It's very important. So when you are creating, you get these quickenings, like Brother Bobby say. You get the downloads. You get to experience yourself in a space of pure, I don't know, bliss. Because when you are in that state, you go into a zone. When I draw, I'm in a straight up zone. I don't know what it is I'm drawing. I just start, and it just turns into what it's supposed to turn into, and therefore I've created something. And so I keep track of everything I create, everything I crochet, every altar. I keep track of everything. I take pictures of it, and I go back and I'm like, dang, I did that. And so in your mind, you start to see how limitless you are. And every obstacle or hindrance is something you're putting in your own way, in your own mind. Nobody else is doing it. It's us. We can create our way out of any situation. We can create a whole new life for ourselves. But a lot of us don't believe that we can. We don't believe in ourselves. We've never been taught to really, truly, oh, you can be anything you want to be. When you little, they tell you all that. They never tell you how to get there. And you don't look at their life and be like, they did it, because most of them haven't. And so you just go into this space of, oh my God, I can't believe I have a pit bull and he is trained, and I did that. He's on a raw food diet. I did the research. I know what to do to keep my dog healthy. I cannot believe, Tiffany, I didn't even want a dog to touch me. You know what I'm saying? I was afraid of dogs, let alone a pit bull. And then I had a chihuahua come into my life. You know what I'm saying? And speaking of chihuahua and breaking these time, because it also breaks time loops. You know what I mean? It collapses these timelines. It stops you from creating a pattern. It stops that whole pattern of, oh, this is what I used to do. This is who my friends are. This is who we used to hang out with. You are no longer creating that, because after a while you just go into straight autopilot. You know what I'm saying? You don't even have to create, because your subconscious already knows what you've created, and you only gonna do the same of the more of the same. And so when you
Right.
are creating, oh my God, like the fact that I created, I'm on here with you right now.
Right.
I could have sat on
Period.
all of the downloads or whatever I was getting, and I could have kept all my thoughts to myself and never had a channel, and wouldn't be talking to you right now. Would have never been on Masterly Foolish channel. Would have never encountered all of the wonderful subscribers I have and followers I have. And I say followers meaning family. I never would have had this experience. So I was saying also about creating the opportunities. So we be waiting for something. Oh, a door gonna open for me. You be waiting for that door to open. It's like, no, you're supposed to create that door. You can draw a door. Brother Bobby would
I
tell us
was
all the
about to
time.
say you could draw
You
the
could
door.
draw a door, and that's the door you walk through. What's on the other side of this door? Whatever you create. So the fairies, people like this. Oh, the fairy stuff is just, listen. This fairy stuff, this is ancient. These are the ancient ancestors, and you have to be humble. You have to. I remember I did a video, and somebody on Massively Foolish channel, I was going around showing the portals, and I was at a cemetery, and it was like, this is the mind of a child. I was like, well, thank you. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. You know what I'm
Appreciate that.
saying? Thank you. And so I think it's just this fluff, and it's funny. But when I say the fairies got my back, when I say I'm protected, when I say whatever it is that I want, because I do what I'm supposed to do, comes to me in the way it comes to me, even if I don't understand it, and I have to. Sometimes you got to see things in hindsight and be like, oh, that's why that happened. My BB dude, my chihuahua, she left me because I was in a space where we had finished our contract. And oh, I was just complacent, and I was like, this is what we gonna be. And it was like, no, she looked at me that day before she died, and she gave me this look of love, and it was like, now, it's time to create something new. But I didn't want to
Mhm.
create it without her. But
Mhm. You're like, I
you know
want
what
you to
I'm
be part
saying?
of this
I
creation.
want you to be part of, and it's like, no, I had my we finished what we were supposed to do. We did it. So yeah, creativity is everything. Everything.
Hold on, just 1 second, Tiff. Let's take a
Okay.
2 second intermission.
Yes.
Am I back? Hold on. Let me
I hear
see.
your voice. Your video is froze.
Hold on. Let me try it one more time.
Oh, you welcome. I'm trying to
Okay, let me
see.
see.
I'm seeing the you
Am
welcome
I back
family.
now?
I hear your voice. You just not the video. Okay,
Okay, now what
yep,
about now?
there we go.
Okay, there
Yep,
we
we
go.
good. Yep.
I'm like, look, I can see you.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, we're gonna get to those comments, y'all. Hold on to the very end. We're gonna do the questions. I was gonna do it on Patreon, but I ain't gonna do y'all like that. But y'all make sure y'all please send Tiff some love, a donation to the Cash App,
Oh,
please,
thank you.
because that really helps a lot, and it allows us to continue to do the work. To have people on to share their time, energy, and wisdom with us. I really, really, feel like that was one of the things that the master teachers, were able to do was because of the love and support, that people were bringing them out to speak and do different things like that. And
Yes.
now that we're in this space and we're all having to like come together as community, like let's not leave that out of it because it's like this is something that's going to feed you spiritually. This is something that
Mhm.
is going to feed you mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. Because do you know how many times that I've gotten different downloads from the master teachers, and it's something that's like, oh, spark my brain, and that turned me up 1,000. And
Mhm.
I'm like, oh, you just opened the gateway for me. Like, I needed that, in true abundance, true prosperity. Like, of the heart, of the soul, of the like, I'm
Yes.
not going crazy because I have someone else that affirmed that they had this experience type of riches, like
Mhm.
that is abundance to me. That feels good. Like, ooh, I ain't out here losing my mind. As long as one person is also crazy with me, I can say, well, me and Tiff are crazy together. So there we go.
Right.
Appreciate that. So, so I'm like, please, support it. It's good. And if you can't, definitely share the video, like, comment, everything like that. It still helps, and it's good karma. So there's that.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I did want to say, so with the you know, you had talked about like blockages and different things like that. And it made me think of this thing, right? Like writer's block. How I used to say, oh, I have writer's block. Like I'm a writer. I'm talking about write circles around anyone. Like
Mhm.
that's my Mercury blessed me with that gift. And so I remember one day being like, I have writer's block. I have writer's block. It's like, no, once you start writing, we will tell you what to write.
Mhm.
And I was like,
Mhm.
Spirit was like, write this, write, just start writing and everything. And I
Mhm.
didn't, oh, look at that, it's spiritual. They ringing the alarm.
Right.
Right,
Mhm.
right now.
Right. Right.
Right now. So
Mhm.
and I was saying I had writer's block. I'm like, okay, I have writer's block. I can't write, Spirit. Like, I don't know what to write. And it's like, we'll give it to you when you start writing. But it was like, I also didn't, at the time, what was happening was I was creating it as I go. Spirit's like, we're trying to get you to create it. Nothing, no movement is happening in your surroundings, in your reality, because you're not creating it. Like,
Mhm.
write it how you want it to be.
Mhm.
And so I
Mhm.
would start to that is how I would start to manifest. I would start to script. I learned to like
Mhm.
script it out. Like,
Yeah.
ancestors, thank you so much for my 5 bedroom house with my backyard with my
Yes.
boom boom boom. And
Yes.
I would be like, thank you. It feels so good to be in a comfortable home, a beautiful home, a home that,
Mhm.
is filled with
Mhm.
love, like, and it would just be, I would start to manifest things like that slowly but surely. And I would go back and read it like, did I put that there?
Yep, that's
And
how it
I was
works.
like, and it'd be like, you'd be shocked,
Yep.
that it comes through like that. And that is one of the greatest feelings. I tell people all the time, one of the greatest feelings I ever had is like knowing that this is something that I asked for and seeing the miraculous, beautiful way in which spirit will bring it into fruition for you.
Mhm.
Because it'll
Mhm.
never, Tiff will be like, I need a new car. And spirit will be like, oh,
Mhm.
okay. You be like, "Hey, what kind of car you want?" Like this, you give spirit something like this, and then it comes in the most you're not even your mind is blown how it comes.
Mhm.
How it comes will be just in the most magnificent way, but it'll be the easiest and fastest way that spirit could get it to you. So
Mhm.
sometimes it takes a little longer, sometimes it's not, sometimes it's instant. When you vibrating at that space and you are, like you said, creating the doorways, creating the opportunities,
Mhm.
spirit can bring it to you. Oh, okay, well, you on the right vibration, so that's not a hindrance for you. Oh, you're creating
Mhm.
the opportunities, you're getting out, you're resonating at the right frequency, you're meeting the right
Mhm.
people, you're going out and you're going to the places that we're leading you to, because I might need you to meet this person at this
Right.
grocery store,
That's right.
right? I
Mhm.
need you to meet the
Mhm.
person at the grocery store so that they can tell you about the day they had, so they can tell you that they got a car for sale.
Mm.
You know what I mean? It'll be
Mhm.
something like that, and then boom, now your manifestation has come to fruition. So, um, you just have to start, like you said. And so that made me think about that writer's block and how spirit's like, no, you don't have writer's block. You just not
Right.
writing.
Right.
Just write it.
Mhm.
We'll tell you. We'll give you the
Mhm.
words. We'll give you the inspiration. We'll give it to you
Yep.
as soon as you do it.
Yep.
You don't know what you about to paint. Just start painting, and we're gonna
Mhm.
show you what to paint once you do it, because it is
Mhm.
that inspiration means, in communication with spirit. That's inspiration,
Yeah, that's that
and so.
zone. Once you go into that zone, when you're creating and you're drawing or you're writing, you go into that zone, and that's the nothingness. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
get into them
unlimited.
ethers like
Yeah,
that.
I mean, you
Yeah.
just and it feels so good. Like, please don't disturb me. You get mad when your phone rang or something snatches
Yeah.
you out of that. It's it's everything, but that's how we supposed to be living every day. We're supposed to have those
Mhm.
feelings every day when we become unrestricted and when we start seeing ourselves in the best light. Because I mean, that takes work. You know what I mean? We've been beat down
Mhm.
so much in life and this society that we have to really build ourselves from scratch. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Because sometimes, our family members will beat us down, our friends will leave us, our lovers will leave us, and we like, well, dang, I must not be worth nothing. And you have to really start, affirming, and it takes work. Because then, as you affirming, you got that old stuff popping up, like, remember me? You know what I'm saying? I don't think you're all that pretty. I don't think you're all that smart. I really don't think you can make this
Mhm.
happen. And then when you do, and you blow your own mind, it's nothing. It's nothing stopping you.
You feeling unstoppable.
Nothing.
Mhm.
Nothing.
And I got this tip. It's funny that you had brought up naturally foolish, and I'm gonna share this with y'all. So we w- a lot that has come up recently is like seeing things that we've never seen before. Recently I went to a park I never been to before. I've been
Mhm.
here my whole life. I mean, not been here my whole life, but I grew up here, so been here all these years, and I went to a park I had never been to before. So I'm like,
Mhm.
I know I'm getting into a new vibration because I'm seeing
Mhm.
things I've never seen before.
Right, right.
And so, in order to get into a new vibration, sometimes you need to go places you've never been before. Sometimes you
Mhm.
need to see things you've never seen before because it
Mhm.
unlocks those hindrances in your
Mhm.
mind, right?
Mhm.
And I was trying to manifest one time, and we were talking about collapsing old timelines and breaking down this matrix and everything, right? And Ashley
Yes.
Foolish told me this, and he would laugh if he heard this. Um, he said sometimes, he's like, sometimes I just like to go against the grain. Like, I'm just a rebellious person. I just like to go against the grain. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, well, I usually walk this certain way to work every day. He's like, and sometimes if I want to just, mess up the matrix, I just walk the other way. Like,
Mhm.
I just walk the other way just to literally change the
The
program.
pattern. Mhm.
You just
Mhm.
change the
It's something simple.
program. He was
Mhm.
like, he's like, it's something so small. He's like, sometimes, if I just want to, mess with the matrix or collapse something, then I just walk the other way. It could be something so simple. And I thought that was so profound. 'Cause I'm like, that is literally, as I see a butterfly, that is the butterfly effect. That is
Yes.
the butterfly effect. It's
Yes.
saying that I'm going to change this one small thing that
Hmm.
can have such a huge,
Huge impact.
significant
That's right.
difference.
All that thing, everything that's connected to that
Everything is
action.
connected. I
Hmm.
just go the
Hmm.
other way when I want to put a glitch in the matrix. I will walk the other way.
Hmm.
Sometimes instead of driving, because I usually roll out to go get these boba drinks, from
Hmm.
over here, and instead of driving, I'll walk. I say, okay, we're gonna walk today,
Hmm. Hmm.
just to switch up that
Hmm.
programming in your mind, because the programming says just do what you've always done, get in the car and
Right.
go.
Right.
And the rebellious thing, the thing that sets you into a new space, is do something you've never done. Walk the back
Hmm.
way, even if you're
Hmm.
just walking a street over. I'm about to
Hmm.
zigzag. I'm about to cross the street right here instead of over there, just to and it don't have to be nothing crazy, but it's just something to switch it up. I went to a park I never went to.
Hmm.
Some people will be like, oh no, go to, I usually go to this park over here. I'll look something up. I'll look it up just to go and, add something different
Hmm.
into the programming, because we're programmed to do something that's routine. We're programmed to do the same things. That is the
Right.
programming of our indoctrination, is to have a routine, do what's normal, do what you're used to doing,
Hmm.
and be okay with that. That's
Hmm.
the indoctrination. The collapse of that says, do something you ain't done before. Do something that you're not expecting to do. Do something that even your brain is not ready
Hmm.
for.
Hmm.
Your brain is saying, okay, go get in the car. We're saying, no, we're about to walk today.
Hmm.
No, we're going to go to the park that's a little bit further out of town than the one that's down the street. Like, those are
Hmm.
things that break up the matrix. And when he said
Hmm.
that, that left such a mark on me, because I will do things just because, like, oh, no, I ain't going to walk that way. I'm going to walk the other way. Why are
Hmm.
you walking this way? Just to break up the matrix. Just
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
just to switch up that pattern. And so
Hmm.
I'm giving that to the family. I'm telling y'all, do something to collapse the matrix. Just do something different. Do something you've never done before.
Hmm.
Go a different way. Drink tea at work instead of coffee.
Hmm.
Something very small, because those are the butterfly effect. That's how you
Hmm.
change the
Hmm.
paradigm without
Yes.
even knowing. So
Hmm.
I think that's great. But um, what else do we need to know, okay, about the summer solstice? What else about this energy? Like, I know we talked about um, making sure that we're being creative. We talked about these activations are coming through. We're dealing with our throat chakra. We're dealing with our inner ear, those vibrations. Like, what else, like staying in the sun. I know you said that our bodies are directing us to eat a little bit better. Should we be out in the sun more? Should we be getting close to water? Like, I know sometimes it's a little bit, the energy is more supportive of like being near water, but
Hmm.
something about this energy is like, get in the sun. Why is that like so important right now?
Well, I think it's just natural. You know what I'm saying? I think that's
Hmm.
that's that's what's sustaining our existence on the planet. You know what I'm saying? But
Period.
more than anything, I think we should be being, not so much doing, and let your doing come
Mm-hmm.
out of your being. And so when you're
Mm-hmm.
being at peace, when you're being joyful, when you're being happiness, like, we have to understand that we are creating our reality. We hear it all the time, but we have to understand that when we're create, that our power to create and how powerful we are, like, we hear it all the time. And now it's like, it's so cliche. So let your doing come out of your beingness. I believe Neil Donald Walsh wrote that, something like that in his book, Conversations with God.
I
And
read all of them books.
yeah, but your beingness,
Mhm.
like, who am I? Like, know who the hell you are. Like,
Mhm.
I, like, Tiff is my girl. Like, Tiff, me and Tiff, we've been rolling for a minute. I don't need an entourage. I don't need
Mhm.
all of the things I used to when I was the material girl. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I needed the friends. I needed this. I need that. And I'm 48 years old. And that could come with, that maturity comes with age, but I've learned to really be in my center. If I don't
Mhm.
like it, I don't like it. If I love it, I love it. And one thing I'm learning by being in that space is love. The highest vibration is love. And that could even sound cliche, like, oh, I love myself. I love I love everybody. And I just, no, I'm talking about knowing beyond believing who you are and what you were sent here to do. I know my mission. I know I'm on purpose. I know it. And what I don't know, I'm going to humble myself. I'm not going to act like I know everything, because you get to a certain status and everybody calling your name and you supposed to have all the answers. Because if I don't know it, I don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to go get around the people who do know it. Or I'm going to go get the book,
Mm-hmm.
or I'm going to go listen to the music, but I'm going to let that come out of what and who I'm being. You see what I'm saying? I've learned to be
Absolutely.
with myself. I learned to love Tiff. Like, when I say Tiff is my girl. You know what I'm saying? We be having all kind
Mine
of jokes.
too.
Thank you. We be having all kind of jokes because I really had to understand. I remember Sister Myra was doing my reading, and she said, "You really like yourself." I said, "I really do. I have I really be surprised when people don't like me. I be like, me? You know what I'm
I
saying?
love
But I
me.
love me. And so
Mhm.
because I love me, I want to create. I want to speak. I want to write. I want to dance. I'm a dancer. You know what I'm saying? I love to dance.
Mhm.
I want to
Mhm.
dance. I want to move my body. I want to walk blue. I want to go talk to dogs. You know what I'm saying? I want to talk to the older people. And then sometimes I just want to be by myself. I don't want to talk at all. I just want to
Mhm.
be with my own thoughts. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
Being my own energy.
those pure moments of, okay, now it's time to share something. Now it's time to be quiet. Now it's time to take a walk. It's just like we going back to the simple things. All the stuff we think we need,
Absolutely.
we're shedding it. And that's where the pain comes in at. We think we need this car. We think we need this big old house. We think we need all these things. And some of us afraid to walk. We've been driving so long. Blue helped me face so many fears I didn't even know I had. I ain't going down that street. Well, I got Blue with me. Come on, Blue. You know what I'm saying? And we go down any
Mhm.
street. I conquered so many fears. And so when the things come up that scare me and I'm afraid to face it, I have to do it head on.
That's
I'm
very
not,
true.
I tackle it. And so from now on,
Mhm.
so that is another thing that unlocks that creativity. And I didn't know you doing something you didn't know you could do. You painting murals and doing all type of artistic shit that you didn't even know was in you.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
that's powerful. That's powerful, especially releasing that fear around,
Mhm.
things. And that came up in me today was releasing a lot of things. I have a lot of abundance in my house, like a lot of things in abundance, and
Mhm.
Spirit was like, okay, get rid of this, and I'm like, Spirit, why? I like these things, it's like just
Yeah.
in case I might need you. What do you need 15 of the same nail polish for? You don't need that. So I was like, okay, you know what? That's right. But let me, and it was brought up in me, like el- eliminate this so you create space for the
Yes.
things that you really want. You don't need this,
Yes.
so you don't want to have more things coming into your life that you don't need. We like attracts like also.
Mhm.
So it's like if I have a whole bunch of things I don't need, Spirit will give me a bunch of things I don't need. No, Spirit, I only
Mhm.
want the things that I do need,
Right.
the things that I require and desire. Right.
Right.
And so,
Right.
I was like, okay, in that mode of like releasing a lot of things. And so as
Mhm.
this release is happening, I also am realizing too, like it is about getting back into nature, getting to the very basics of things,
Mhm.
getting to that
Mhm.
foundation at this
Mhm.
time.
Mhm.
Because when your foundation is weak, you don't have anything to stand
Mm-mm.
on. What can
No.
you stand on? So it's
Mhm.
like, we'll get those reminders where Spirit is like, nope, get back to the beginnings, get back to the basics, get back to what and so I think that that's very important to keep in mind. And so, is that me? You hear it? It sounds like it's adjusted. I can't hear you, too. Let me see. I know it ain't up here. What about now?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Okay.
Okay. I just unplugged it, put it back in.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
No, and so to segue though into because how much time we at right now? Okay. So just to segue before we, start to close it out and everything, I wanted to talk about the underworld. the underworld's been coming up a lot.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
yesterday, even when I was walking around, and it's so funny because I'm walking around, I've seen a garden. I'm talking about, I'm getting
Yep.
so many downloads. And once I'm like, can I take this? Should I take this out this yard? Like, I'm like,
Mhm.
as I see things, so, but that gave me a lot of downloads of what spirit is telling me. I know the hyssop is related to the spiritual bath. I
Mhm.
know that, seeing a lot of these different herbs, like the valerian is dealing with dreams. Like, so then we turn around and it says that we need to be time traveling this summer. What did it say? It said something like
It
that
was said
that I
time
sent you.
travel. It was like it definitely said time travel, and then it had some couple other different things on there.
Yeah, and it was
Uh-huh.
like know thyself, and it was like all these different little
Everything we
things on
saying.
there,
Mhm.
everything we saying, and so that was like a huge like confirmation, even while we was on the phone. So we know that the underworld come up. We know that we're retrieving something. I told you I had to, call my homegirl and be like, hey, come on, we off this timeline, we on to the next thing. And so
Mhm.
what is that energy that's coming up about retrieval in the underworld, and what, like, how can people, I guess, get started with that? Because for me, when it comes to the underworld work, I know that I had to retrieve the younger me. So just for
Mhm.
example, me and Tiff talked about this, because I was having a moment. I was having a very emotional rising, and I was like, what is coming up out of me? Like, why is this? I wasn't really sure. And me and Tiff, kind of decoded a lot of what I was experiencing. And so I realized in that moment that um, a traumatic thing that happened, where it was a space that I would go back into often, and I would cut off the head of the person who abused me. This entity, I would just cut his head off every time that memory would come up. I just cut his head off, or
Mhm.
slice him 15 different ways and going about my business. But
Mhm.
in that moment, thank you, Tisha.
Hey, Tisha.
But in that moment, I was never retrieving the younger me from out of the space. I was
Mhm.
eliminating that entity, but I wasn't picking the younger me up out of
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
So when you had brought that up, I said, "Oh, let me go get her," because
Mhm.
that was one of the things that was the missing piece. Like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm destroying this entity, but I'm not getting my stuff back.
Right.
So it's like,
Right. Right.
let me go retrieve me. So I went and grabbed the younger me, and immediately it was like a sigh of relief, like, oh, girl, okay, because I was waiting for you to come get me. Like,
Mhm.
goodness,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
it was like, okay, so I stayed with this aspect of myself, and held her and walked her about in space. And every time I've gone back to look since the other day, she's not even there. She's
Mhm.
not in there at all. So I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
we got you back. Good. Now I can close this portal. Now it's time to just, collapse this, like close this doorway. We're done with this. And so um then you had brought up the underworld, and I told you I had to go grab my homegirl from the other dimension and be like, hey, okay, we up out of here. So
Mhm.
what is this energy of retrieval, and that's happening, and what is this underworld energy really telling us?
Okay, well, underworld just represents your darker side and
Right.
facing your fears. So I dropped a video today because I woke up on some straight up dark goddess energy. And
Has
in the video, I
Sekhmet
was
been
talking
heavy
about,
too?
yeah, Sekhmet, Marie Laveau have been coming up. A lot of the
Mm-hmm.
Wajet, a lot of the goddesses that's been dealing with the snake. Shout out to Lafayette Black, who these some of these channels were coming through for us. And so I was saying how some things have been taken from us. And in the movie with Caroline, not to, it's like an animation Caroline, she had to go and retrieve those souls of those children. And in retrieving those souls of those children, she did it for herself as well. And sometimes we got to turn into something we really don't want to turn into out of fear, or um, sometimes the guilt will come up, or just things that will stop you from getting what is yours. And so when I said it could have been something in your childhood, something about your inheritance, and you have this light and somebody takes it from you because you just a child and they're the adult, and who would be the wiser? You know what I'm saying? And so you go through these you struggling and you don't know why. You struggling with this and you don't know why, and nobody will tell you the truth. And you got to go in the spirit. You got to go into meditation, and you got to ask, and certain things will be revealed. That's going into the underworld. And so before you can retrieve anything, you have to face that fear. Some of us don't want to confront some of our uh, family members who are older. And I'm not saying confront as in be disrespectful, but can we have a conversation? Because I was supposed to get something, and it seems that somebody else has it. How did they get it? And it's time to take it back. So a lot of us, we are confrontational. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes you gotta let somebody have it with them words. And if it come to them hands, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is when you're righteous. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
You want to fight me on it, it is what it is. But I know I'm gonna win because I stand in the position to right. Shout out to Rod Hayes. So one is facing your fears. Two is going into that dark energy. And when you go into that dark energy, it's not to hurt anyone. It's you becoming, that's really the primordial you. Because we, Bobby Hemmett tells us we monsters. We don't look how, this how we look right now. You know what I'm saying? In this physical body, this is not us. You know what I mean? They say we're ugly to compared to what we used to look like. And when we see those people, they like monsters. You see what I'm saying? And so you're going into this energy. You're going into, your bullshit. You're going to face, you know what I'm saying, who it is you really are in this dark energy. And you're going to tap in and you're going to say, okay, now here we go. Because a lot of us know what those things are. A lot of us know who the people are who wronged us. A lot of us, we know. And sometimes at this time, it's time for you to call them people on it. But you got to go spiritually first and then be led as to what to do physically.
And see, that's 3 cents for that. So that's powerful. And I literally I had told you already that I had to confront mine and was like, all right, spirit, now we gotta do something about this because the next time it's hands and feet on this MF right here. And I'm telling you, like, but people don't want to keep it real. Like it gets very it can get physical. That's just the reality of it. Like this is a real situation. We're dealing with real life. We're not, like this is a very important thing to understand that when you are healing that work, there may come a time, and not for everybody, because sometimes you can clear it out of the spiritual and not have to
Right.
experience the physical manifestation of it. That's why we deal with it spiritually first. But mine had already been manifested so physically, and it forced me to have to deal with it physically as well. But after our conversation, I realized, okay, I need to get cleared out spiritually. Like I need to get the last of this out. Like, this is okay, this is coming up again. Let me get the last of this out so that I don't have to have this physical experience anymore.
Right.
Let me get this out in the spiritual. So I'm like, okay, now I see what's going on. But it's been a long process of it. Some of these energies are heavy, and these are like energies, some of these entities and beings have been around since longer than we was even thought of. So you're dealing with some heavy stuff, and they will, like you said, they will not only just steal your inheritance. I'm talking about, you know, and it may be a life of actual bliss and peace of mind and joy. And, they may be stealing that from you, so that is one of those things that we have to get into, not only just in the physical reward of it all, but when they stealing your inheritance, they stealing your happiness, they stealing your peace, they stealing your ease and your grace and your mercy that is supposed to be
There you go.
your God, your birthright.
Yep.
Like you should have that.
Well, let me say this too, because a lot of us, like the family, they always doing this and the family always doing that. But how often do we confront those family members? And we can just pull them off to the side and say, listen, let's just have a conversation. We ain't even got to be cool after this, but we going to have an understanding. How many of us do that? How many of us let it just keep going on and on and on? That's just how they are. How many of them pull to the, how many of us really do that? You see what
That's
I'm
a
saying?
fact.
And so we won't be saying that You know what I'm saying? If you, because they gonna be more like, oh my God, you know what I mean? I can't believe you seen that or you said, because some conversations need to be had with some of these elders, and it can be
No,
done
that's a
very,
fact.
very respectfully. You know what I'm saying? Because somebody over there got something that belonged to me, and now I'm coming to get it. I'm coming for it, and I'm not leaving this room until I get it.
You taking
And
your
then,
energy back.
yeah, I'm taking my peace back.
I'm taking my
I'm taking
peace
my
back.
light back. You see what I'm
Everything.
saying? And so, like, you ain't supposed to say nothing to your elders. No, but some of them know things, and not to get too personal because I don't want to go
Mhm.
into a whole tangent. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But some of them know things, and they keep it a secret. They keep it swept under the rugs, and these people over here got this, and you over here struggling, and it's like, hold on, wait a minute.
Mhm.
Can we have a conversation, Auntie? Can we have a conversation,
Mhm.
Uncle? Can we have a conversation, Grandma? We can. I mean, we're
Mhm.
grown now. We're adults. We need to have these conversations instead of complaining about these people. Because once we step to them and say, once we have those conversations, I promise you those things won't bother us no more. And so the
Yeah.
guilt, the shame, the fear, the doubt, all that stuff goes away. All of
Yeah.
it goes away. So we can, put all the stuff we want on our altars. We can do all the rituals we want. But if we not going in and doing that inner work, stuff don't matter. It don't matter
Mhm.
because it's going to lead you to do the inner work.
That's a fact. I can't
Hmm.
even see that. Hold on. Thank you. I can't see that.
Peace,
Cause something was
fam.
on it.
We see y'all. We just trying to talk.
We
I
see
don't
y'all.
want
We
to
just
get
trying to
talk.
get it out.
Yeah.
But no, that's a fact, and I'm telling y'all from someone, and those who are on my
Peace,
I all
Tisha.
those
Peace,
who are
family.
peace t-shirt. I was trying to see what you said. All of those who are on my Patreon, they know this already, but I've said it before. I have confronted them demons. Like I'm talking about when you release that fear. My fear is that one, um, if it's my time to go, it's my time to go. And I'm
Hmm.
not gonna let nobody stop me from doing what I'm supposed to do for fear of that.
Hmm.
Because that's a conversation with God. So if
Hmm.
it's my time, it's my time, spirit. Okay. If it's and I know spirit gonna let me know, hey, prepare
Hmm.
yourself because you going to the other realms in a minute.
Hmm.
So I'm not worried about that. And I think a lot of people have fear of like, what's gonna happen to me? How is this person gonna feel? How is that person gonna react to me saying this or whatever? You don't have to take care of nobody's feelings. That's the same thing I
Hmm.
told my son. You don't have to be in charge of nobody else's feelings. You don't have to worry about how they're going to take what you feel is your truth about how you feel.
Hmm.
So it's like, once you release all of those, you know, um, blockages of,
Hmm.
okay, well, I'm fearful of what someone's going to say, I'm fearful that someone's going to do something to me, or having that fear based around that, you will start to say, they don't invite me nowhere unless
Hmm.
it's cool, unless everything is out on the table and we're in good energy. They just don't invite me, and that's
Hmm.
okay.
Hmm.
Don't
Hmm.
invite me because I'm gonna
Hmm.
call it out. No, that's not okay. I don't like that. I don't like that. So I
Hmm.
think now, being older, I'm able to do that. But that has what when you're able to do those things, then you can
Hmm.
say for sure. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I'm the black sheep. I'm the black sheep. You ain't even did
Hmm.
nothing to be the black sheep.
Hmm.
You know,
Hmm.
you're the black sheep maybe because you isolated yourself. I'm the black sheep
Hmm.
because they know, oh, she gonna say something.
Hmm. She the
Don't
most
do nothing
outspoken
around
one. Yeah, she the
the
most outspoken.
outspoken
Hmm.
one. I'm gonna
Hmm.
say whatever needs to be said. I don't care. I'm gonna confront this person, whether it makes everybody. When I confronted that demon for being the way that demons are, and everybody put their heads down. Only one person, my younger cousin, she sat there and she was like, "I had you back. We was gonna jump him." And I was like, "I know that's right, but I wasn't right."
Yeah.
Everybody put their heads down because it's like it's that fear, and I just looked like y'all cowards, and that's
Hmm.
okay
Hmm.
because
And
I
let
did
them be
what
that.
I was supposed to do. I did
Hmm.
what I was supposed to do. I don't have no fear about
Hmm.
nothing. I ain't worried. But
Hmm.
also, what did it do? I cleared that energy for the people that come
There you
after
go.
me.
You cleared. There you go. Yep.
I cleared it.
Hmm.
I cleared it. I did my work. Spirit said, get
Hmm.
that out. And that's how
Hmm.
you clear the bloodline. Oh, you
Yes.
gotta go.
Yep.
Boom. You gotta go. You're
Yep.
not welcome here. So and every time and any time. So now they just don't invite me. But that's fine.
But that goes to a quote that says, it ran in the family until it ran into me.
Period. And
That's
that's a
it.
fact. That's exactly what it is. Look at that.
Hmm.
888 again. I'm grateful that you brought that up because I do hope that the family takes the opportunity to get that out. There is no fear. There's like you have spirit. You have the best protection that there is. That's your birthright. You are born with that protection and can't nobody do nothing to you. You know, so if you need to say something and get it off your chest, and that's what spirit is directing you to do, that's what the higher self is guiding you towards, then do that.
Well, let
I
me
feel
say
at
this,
peace.
because a lot of them people gonna be leaving here, and you make your peace now with them. And when I'm not saying make your peace, but speak your truth. You know what I'm saying? Because once they gone, they gone. You know what I mean? You can contact them in the spirit realm, and that's one thing. But just to clear that whole blockage, because that's what it is. Because every time you think of that person or family member, you be like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Let that go. So when you think about it, it ain't even a thought. It's like it is what it is. And so now I can go on and create something else because I don't have that little thing over there bothering me.
I think that is going to be a new and that also creates like we were saying a new timeline, creates a ripple effect, creates whole new energy for us to step into once we don't have that energy on
Energy,
us
right?
anymore because it's held up in your heart, like
Yep.
we talk about all the time. You transmute from the heart chakra.
Yeah. There you
So
go.
whenever you got that negative energy coming in and no way to get it out, you got to use your heart in order to get that out. So it's like, okay, we transmute at the heart level, and this gives you a chance to get it out so that you're not having to use that energy as much. I mean, you have to think when you vocalize it, you're using the throat chakra. You got to bypass the heart to get to the throat. So when you get it off your heart and out your mouth, you free up some space.
You free it up. I'm telling you, it's just like what do you say that? A weight been lifted off your shoulders, or a weight been lifted off your chest. That's what it is. Because certain conversations just need to be had. And I'm not even saying take it to the street with everybody, but you can pull some people to the side and say, that's mine. You know what I'm saying? And why does your children have it? You know what I'm saying? Or my piece is mine. You're interfering with that. You see what I'm saying? Every time I do something, you got something to say. You're taking you hurting me because you're an elder, and I really can't come at you out of respect. But you're hurting. You putting hurt in my heart. So we're gonna have a conversation about this, because next time, after we've had this conversation, it won't be an issue anymore. You will stay on that side of the room, and I'll be over here, and we're good. Because sometimes when we can't stand somebody like that, like it's a burn in the heart sensation, it's some deep shit. It's trauma. That's trauma.
That's a fact.
Because why is your heart burning in the first place?
Right. Because yeah, I didn't, when people, there be people that pass with things still on them, or they'll, like people that pass of heartbreak, and it's like, how much pain have you had to hold on to and endure to pass of a heartbreak? That's something that should have been dealt with while you was living.
That's
Because
big.
it literally means that the heartstrings have been pulled. That's how people die of heartbreak. And it's like
And breast
usually
cancer, that's how breast cancer comes about.
see, and so
Holding
even
on
when I think about how Rose's grandparents, one passed away, and she passed away kind of very rapidly and suddenly, and her husband died 6 months later. Literally 6 months later, his grandfather passed away, and I said he could not live without that woman. And that's that heartbreak. Like, you should have been telling her while she was still here how much she meant to you, what she felt with all those things. And now it was like, okay, I'm ready. She out of here. Me too. I'm good. I didn't go tell her how I felt. Probably had to get out and go tell her how you feel. Like, oh, I'm coming after you. I'm on the way. And it's one of those things when people die of heartbreak and things like that. You have to think that the mental and emotional body store things physically in the body. Your trauma is remembered by your cells, and what do your cells do? Create things. Thoughts become things. So your cells literally create based off of your trauma. It's going to create situations in your environment that says something here is still inside of you.
Yep.
So it's like when so not to go off on that, but we know what our work is. That's all I had to say, because this will go 50 different ways, but thank you
Oh, you're
for
welcome. Thank
all of
you.
these downloads. It's been beautiful, and I know that there's a lot of gems here, and I always love to go back and listen because sometimes I'd be like, oh, I didn't even catch that, or I didn't even catch that. I didn't even realize, what that is, and or that we said that, or we made that connection and everything with all the downloads. So, the biggest takeaways, hopefully, everybody, just to summarize, is realizing like the summer solstice energy is to be out in nature, is to catch as much of this energy out, being in our most primal, most natural version of ourselves, to be out in nature and to connect naturally and with spirit in that way. So I
Well, let
hope
me
you
say,
guys go ahead.
this, not to cut you off, but nature is your family. The
That is your
trees,
family.
the grass, the sun, the rain, the animals, the insects. That's why you need to commune with them every day. And so with the solstice, it also represents new beginnings. So we be thinking new beginnings, oh, something new, but how something new gonna happen and you still holding on to the old? Some of the things that we supposed to let go. You know what I'm saying? So look at this as the time of new beginnings that you're going to deliberately create.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
don't let go of it. Before you let go of the bags, go through them. See
Yeah.
everything that's in there. Look at everything. Know why you giving this away. Know why you donating this. Know why you throwing that away.
Right.
You know what I'm
And
saying? Whatever the objects are, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Before you walk into this new, or you create this new door that you are to walk into, that those new beginnings, go through them bags.
mhm. And
Really,
something I
really be
learned.
honest with yourself. Go ahead.
No, good. I was gonna say that that's something because I've been working with Kuan Yin, and one of the things that Kuan Yin deals heavy with feng shui. And one of the
Mm-hmm.
things that Kuan Yin had, and that's probably why now I think about it, why she told me to get rid of that stuff. Um, Dealing with Kuan Yin and bringing that energy up out of myself, and getting into that flow. One thing that Kuan Yin says is when you get rid of things, right? You thank it
Mm-hmm.
before you get rid of it, you thank it. That's one thing
Mm-hmm.
I learned from working with Kuan Yin. So if I have something that I need to get with each piece of clothing, like when I went through Rose clothes and all that stuff, is from when it was smaller, and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
thank you for clothing my baby for the time that you did.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Everything holds
Mm-hmm.
energy. Just like if
Everything.
you was to go buy something from the thrift store, you like, oh, that's some
Yep.
funky energy. I ain't gonna bring
Yep.
that home.
Yep.
It's the same way with our clothes. We
There you
carrying that
go.
energy. We're leaving it inside of these clothes and everything. So you thank everything that's come across your path. So even when I come into my house, I thank you. I hit touch all the walls when I move in. Thank you, thank you, thank
Mm-hmm.
you, thank you. And
Mm-hmm.
until it's time for me to go. So whenever, even if somebody is leaving out of my life, I say,
Mm-hmm.
Spirit, thank you for the
Yep.
time that I shared. I hope I've learned the lessons with
Mm-hmm.
this person and let me move forward, and I'm letting them go with ease and grace. I'm letting them go with love.
Yes. Yes.
Bye. You
Mm-hmm.
gotta go. I love you though. Thank you
Mm-hmm.
for whatever it is that we were supposed to do together. I hope that we've accomplished it because I don't want to do it again. So I hope we
That's
did
how
our work.
that's how
Thank you.
that's how it was about my bridge card. I never had a bridge card before in my life. Bridge card is a full card. And I never had one in my life. I was like, oh my God, this is great. I don't have to spend money for food. This is great. And then they cut it off about a year later. And I was like, I was just so grateful for the time I had it. I couldn't even, you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? I was just,
He's
now I
like,
gotta spend
yes.
money on food again. It was amazing. It was just
Yeah.
amazing. Phil, I never had that feeling before.
No, I'm telling you, I
Yes,
thank
yes.
everything. I will thank
Mm-hmm.
everything. I'm like, thank you, thank you, thank you. Like
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate, especially with people. Even when I left that job, I said, okay, well, thank you. I know what I was supposed to do when I went in there,
Mm-hmm.
and I left. And when I left the shelter and everything, I know a lot of the guys that I worked at a black shelter for black men, and all of the
Peace.
men in there when I was leaving was very sad about me going, but it was like
Mm-hmm.
I did my work. I was
Yeah.
supposed to introduce y'all to something. I introduced y'all to the energy. I showed, the people like this is how you're supposed to treat people. They was not treating them right. So when I come up in
Mm-hmm.
here, my vibration was to I'm gonna treat you with the humility and kindness that you deserve. These is elders. All these men are older than me. Almost 92% of people in there were older than me, my actual elders, and these are grown black men. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
everybody was looking down on them when I got in
Mm-hmm.
there. Everybody was treating them bad. Like I'm like going in there. I'm like, no. They're like, oh, they can only have cold bread. No, I'm gonna make a hot breakfast. You don't want to be treating nobody like that. And then I got a transmission from spirit that said those who were not treating their elders right will be punished. And I was like, you know what? That's what I came here to do, to show y'all how to treat y'all's elders. And once my job was done, it was time for me to go. Spirit said, leave and don't go back. I was supposed to not be done for like another week or something. Spirit said, you're not going back. And I had to tell them people, I will not be back. Like, just that quick. I came and did my mission. And, it was sad for the people that, that I had to leave and everything, because they were, finally being treated with some humility. But it also was, I had to elevate you and let you get into your next space. If I stay here, you get comfortable. If I stay here, I get comfortable. We came to do something for one another, and I had to go. I can't stay in this vibration, and neither can you. So we do something for one another. It's a symbiotic relationship, but I know that I did what was right. I did, but my time was limited. So in a lot of these spaces, when we doing our work, it's like you just there to do your work, and then you go ahead. And so I thank you for, showing me this. Thank you for, this experience, and I appreciate that. But now I'm ready to move forward. Like, and I'm grateful for the next, like, okay, Spirit, show me what else is coming. Like, I'm ready for the next adventure. I take it all as an adventure. This the hero's journey. Yeah, okay. I'm on to the next thing. You ever play Mario and you get into the next level, like, oh, okay, it looks different in this scenery. Like, everything didn't change. That's how it feels. So I just take it like that, and I feel like that's where we at right now. So we're
Should we take a couple of questions before
let's go for it.
That's beautiful, though, sis.
Yeah,
right on time.
I'm grateful. Let's see. Okay, so let me get in here. I can't really see. They're asking me to look at this. I can't see. Whew. Somebody said, that's how I found you both masterly foolish. Okay, I know that's right.
I said, time to take a flight. I'm be on the plane. I'm be on the flight soon.
It said, Kev said, I was extremely proud a long time ago to see someone represent Detroit. Still proud of that. Okay.
Well, the D is in the house. Usual.
Listen. Somebody said, my finger joints are sore. What could that be in relation to?
Oh, honey, my finger joints. Do you do hair?
Right.
Are you seriously? Because my fingers are I'm just now, but I've always worked with my hands. But this hand, my fingers were almost about to look deformed, and I didn't really realize it, how I hold the leash when I was walking blue. And you're probably tensing up your body. Something is causing you to tense up your body. You're gonna have to get some massages, get some hand massages, and you can massage your own hands. But go into a meditative state and breathe. Go and see Freeman L on Serious Times. He has some meditations. Go into those meditations. Focus on your breath. Breathe, because you're tensing your body up somewhere. Somehow something is causing you to tense up, and you're just kind of staying in a stoic way, and your hands are probably but you're not cognizant of it. So get some massages. You can massage your own hands. You can massage your own feet. You can, you got you a boo who can massage you, but focus on your breath. Breathe, be present, and be out in nature.
And get you some tiger balm. That tiger balm will help a lot with that. Any type of like that joint issues, things like that. And don't be scared to soak. Any Epsom kind of soak or Himalayan salt soak, stuff like that. That helps to move around that lactic acid that sometimes builds up in the joints and stuff like that. So
very good.
Okay. So let me go back here. Let me get back up here. Okay. And if y'all have questions, y'all better hurry up and put them in the chat, because I'm going through. I'm trying to see as best I can. Okay. Melanin light worker said they've been feeling that energy, and your uncle just passed 2 weeks ago. I say to your to your uncle, I'm gonna say grandfather, to your uncle, and definitely pour out some
condolences.
Yeah, condolences to you, and definitely pour out some liquor for your ancestors or whatever it is that they love. Do something to honor them for sure, because this is that time, and Cancer is the energy of the mother. So you definitely, Big Mama is online right now for sure.
Somebody just asked, with shadow work, the same as the underworld. And it's not really, no, underworld is like an energy. It's just like a dark energy. And it's not like a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's time to be the warrior. Sometimes it's time to be at peace. You know what I mean? Just like the great mother. The great mother is gonna be a mother to her children and nurture them and love all over them. Then it's time to go to get in their ass sometimes. You see what I'm saying? So just look at it as an energy. It's like your darker energy where you go in and you face your fears, you conquer. When you go to underwear, you're conquering something. It's not like you go and you stay, in some dark sunken world. You know what I'm saying? You're going in like you're coming out a whole new energy. You're going in to drop off of energy, you coming out a even more powerful energy.
That energy of the underworld is transformation.
There you go.
It's transformation for sure. Universal frequencies. Hey family, if you're still here, I gotta definitely get you on the channel too, because he be having some, he's one of those people that'll say a word that'll just like, oh well, you know how people can get into the etymology of words and get to like, boom, this connects with this. Like he sends that off in my mind whenever I hear him speak on his videos. So we definitely have been supposed to collab, but we did meet in person when I was in Houston, and the energy is just, you could tell soul family when you meet. It's all like, oh, this brother. We was in that on at the tables outside of a coffee shop studying, breaking down the knowledge. So shout out to you.
Okay, somebody did ask about how can you use fairy energy for psychic self-defense. First of all, that's the whole reason why I'm telling you to get creative, is because fairies will talk to you. That's why I'm telling you to be outside, because they will tell you their name, and it'll be something like you feel like you're talking to yourself, and these energies are coming to tell you you're going to define them. You know what I'm saying? So when they tell you their name, you give them their attributes. You know what I mean? And they're basically telling you. So as you're giving them their attributes and their job to do, that one of them would be protection, psychic self-defense. This one does this and this one does that. Whatever it is that you need them to do to work for you, that's what you do. And if you just need to pretend for a while, you know what I'm saying? Because even pretending and using your imagination is the same thing.
Yes. And what did
so put them to work. Put them to work.
Absolutely. And what did you? Tiff got. This is how strong the fairy kingdom is. Tiff, and I'm putting it out there. So forgive me or get on me later.
I'm
but we had got shamanic readings, and Tiff got a shamanic reading, and the first thing she tells me, the person who gave Tiff shamanic reading, was like, yeah, the fairies was all over. I had to tell them, like, chill out. They was all over her reading. Just came through. Like, I didn't see him at first, and as soon as she said it, it was like they were everywhere. And I was like, that fairy
she said it was
strong.
getting on her nerve. They was like, hi, how are you? It was hilarious. I was like, that's them. That's them.
Yeah. Active. It's a very active energy.
Just be playful, like be your child self. And I can't get up and panic, and I'm gonna keep saying it. Play with the fairies like you would play with your toys, like you would play with your Barbies, like you would play with your little baby dolls, like you play with your GI Joes, like you're making all these sounds when they fight. That's what you do.
That's
my nephew is not in the 9th grade. He still play with his Transformers, like he still play with his toys. So yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely. And that's what I feel like we're being like reminded of, like stay in that child, like take that innocence. Like when I was young, and that's why I've been doing my makeup and different stuff like that more, because sometimes we'll get our younger self, and this is one download that I got before. Sometimes when we get our really small self, like 4 and 5 and years old, we go and retrieve those pieces of ourselves. But my teenage self went through a lot, and I had to go get her too. And I had to go back, and it was like, what do you need? When I go and do these retrievals, you have to literally just integrate them back into your life. Like, what do you need? And so when I went to go get my 4-year-old self the other day, I heard them like, oh, go in there and play with Ro, my son. And I was like, go play with him. Like, what? I always be hanging out with him, but like, play with him. And they're like, no, my 4-year-old self wanted to play with him. Like, no, I want to go play. Like, I want to go play. So I was like, okay, I put that on my mind. Like, okay, so I need to make sure that this weekend we just in there playing. Like, that's the plan. We just gonna be in there playing and hanging out, because that's what my 4-year-old self needed. But my teenage self wanted to be able to play in makeup and try different stuff with my hair and do stuff like that. And whenever you're integrating these soul pieces, whenever we're retrieving something, like you said, from the underworld,
Mhm.
you have to integrate these pieces of yourself back into your life as if they've
Mhm.
been gone, because they have been.
Mhm.
And that's how
Mhm.
you introduce them back. Like, this is safe space. This is safe.
Mhm.
We
Mhm.
okay. We look where we at now, like you
Yeah.
said.
And another thing is like, don't look at your fairy experiences as something fleeting or you had it this one time. Like, it should be every day. Make your a
Hmm.
book of fairies. Name your
Hmm.
fairies. Give them their attributes. Give them their codes. Give them their colors. Make it real. Make it real.
Hmm.
Make it real. As me and Mook sitting here talking, because I talked to. I'd imagine like we had imaginary friends all the time. I could tell you the names of my imaginary friends. And I was little.
Hmm.
Make it fun. Make it light. And that's why you humble yourself. So when the information comes, instead of you blocking it, oh, that ain't this and that ain't that. You know what I'm saying? Those blockages are removed, and you'll say, oh yeah, you know what I mean. Once you start sharing it, people are like, oh, I do that too. Oh, that resonates. There you go. There
Hmm.
you go. That's
So
how it's
would it
done.
be good to make an altar if they're, say they're just getting started? Would it be good to like make an
Yeah,
altar for the fairies?
yeah. Of course. I'm gonna show you my little. I'm gonna show y'all my little altar. My little. Uh-oh. I'm not supposed to take that out. Can you hear me, Mook? Uh-oh.
Hmm.
Okay. So let me see if y'all can see it. Pull it to the front. So I got my gnomes right here. I got my ladybugs. I got Princess Tiana. I got my feathers. This is just a small one. This is
Oh,
small. I
I
got my
love that.
babies. You know what I'm saying? And everybody is glued. They're glued. I got my crystals. I got my frogs. You see what I'm saying? And so that's just something I do. It makes me smile. It makes me happy, and I know that it's power over there because I know what I infused. I know what I want it
Right.
there for. I know what it's there for, and that's just one layer of it. I got more to do. It's gonna be this big elaborate thing, and I'll show y'all eventually
I
um
love that.
on my channel. But play with that. It is so much fun. It's so much fun. I love it. So I love going shopping for toys. I be in the Walmart is the best place to get toys as far as like price wise. You will clean up. You will clean up. You will clean up.
Hmm. I go to I've been to, even sometimes I'll be sketchy about going to Goodwill and grab the toys, because sometimes they be having some funky ones in there. But sometimes we'll go in there and Rowan will be like, "Mom, this looks great." I'm like, "This looks like this been played with for 25 years, but okay, let's get it." Because if that's what if that's what it's calling to its energy, I try to honor that. Like, okay, well, if it's calling to you, I go home, clean it up, throw it in the bathtub, bleach it down, and here you go. Like, have a blast.
Mhm,
But even witnessing him brings me into that state of like,
mhm.
wow, this is
Yeah.
lovely. And sometimes he'll tell me a name. He'll tell me a name of something. I'm like, what's this one's name or something? He'll be like, it's this. And I'll be like, I ain't never heard that before. But maybe that energy is coming to you for a reason. He named his
Mhm,
dog, he'll name his toys, he'll name everything. Oh no, this
mhm.
came from this came from that. Like, he'll create those pictures. And I want to say it was, I don't know if it was Panic or I think it was either Panic or Bobby that said the pictures that your children create,
There you
have
go.
them they be protection.
Yep.
So if your
Yep.
child creates a picture of you and them together, there's protection in that picture. If they draw, something, and you see something in the background, or if you see a monster in the back of them or something, they telling you what they seeing and what they experiencing too.
Mhm, mhm,
So I always, I say, okay, draw me a warrior or something like that. Tell Rhoda, draw me something, draw me a warrior or something like that.
mhm,
Let
mhm.
them, let your kids
Yep.
be involved in getting that
Eh,
energy going. Because I put it
That.
on the fridge
Mhm.
and be like, this is our protection. This protect this household right here.
Someone asked, is there a book about retrievals? Me personally, I used to be an avid reader. Once I started channeling, I rarely read a book. And so a lot of this information is going to be coming from your own mind, your own subconscious. You're going to be recalling ancient information and wisdom. That's why you have to humble yourself, because when it comes through, you won't shut it down. You see what I'm saying? And so I don't personally know about a book about retrievals. What about you? Mo?
Um, there are a few books in don't get me to giving you the name off the top of my head because I'll probably make something up right now, but I can see it in my mind. But I will link it in the description after I get done, and so you guys can look at that book. But the best way to do a retrieval is, and this is simple. It seems simple, um, but the work is heavy once it actually gets started, right? So what you can do is literally ask yourself. You can go back and say, what was it, um where do I need to start looking first, or like what do I need to know first? Ask
Mhm.
yourself. Your spirit knows what it needs. Where
Mhm.
you can ask an age, and the easiest
Mhm.
way is to ask an age because you can get into that timeline easiest, right?
Mhm.
So you want to go into that age, or you want to go into a specific memory of being at that age. You go in, and you
Through
go in
meditation.
that doorway.
Mhm.
Yep, you go in through meditation. You go use a door. Same way that we say you create a door, you go through that door. Boom. Once you are inside that doorway of that memory, you grab yourself, and you want to
Thank you, Titan.
get yourself to come along, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
So how I and this is the shaman who did the work for me told me to do this. So
Mhm.
you go in, you get yourself to come, you pick yourself up like and this was my maybe 6, 7 year old self or something. Grabbed her along. Hey, do you want to come with me? And she's being kind of stubborn, like, no, I don't really want to go. And I'm like, hey, it's way better. We live in a new apartment. We got a kid. Like, come look,
Mhm.
this is great.
Mhm.
Get your self, wherever, whatever age, to come with you, and then you close that doorway back, and you close that portal, and you destroy that door, so it's nothing or anyone can come through or out of that doorway with you.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then you'll slowly start to integrate that piece back into you. But like I said, you want to make it do the things that whatever you're led to do. Once that piece comes out the doorway,
Mhm.
do it. I had to
Yes.
go get an Anne Frank folder. You know Anne Frank, Lisa Frank. I
Mhm.
mean, Anne Frank. Lord, the Holy Ghost. Uh, Lisa Frank, a Lisa Frank folder, and it's the one that had all those colors on it, and it would be like all of those. Like she would have pencils and binders and whatever. When I went to go get one of my soul pieces, Spirit was like, get that folder," and I was like, "Why am I getting this folder?" And it was like a Juicy Couture bracelet or something, and it was like the little me at that age wanted those things to feel comfortable coming back, so I got them, and
Mhm.
then it
Mhm.
was great. It was fine.
Mhm.
Everything felt better. So definitely, that's a way to start. In meditation, you go through one doorway, you pick yourself up, you get that self to come with you, and you close that door back and destroy that doorway.
Mhm.
And it just takes a focused meditation.
Mhm. There you go.
And that's
Some. Go ahead. Go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
No, I was saying somebody asked about is there a book on fairies? Plenty books on fairies. I haven't found anyone that resonates with me because it's all kind of fluff, but um I am writing one just for the family to have. But write it.
I'm ready.
Write it. Write, get a
I'm
character and
ready.
write. Just write. Is it normal for you for your younger self to guide you out of underworld? Oh wow. Hell yeah it is.
Hmm.
Yeah, especially if you experience it. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Someone said, what does it say?
Thank wait, wait,
Fibroids.
wait,
What
wait.
in
Mad Titan,
Go ahead.
Mad Titan.
Hey, Jock.
He
That's
he uh
Jock. Hey,
he
Jock.
gave a donation. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Jock, for the donation.
Yeah,
It says, what
that
energy do you
faded
think cause
away.
fibroids? Yasmin. I want to say it's Dr. Layla Africa that has a book that talks about common illnesses and things like that. And so I will look into African Holistic Health, I believe is the name of the book, that will break down um, fibroids and where it comes from. But wherever the fibroids are, like I believe that deals with the reproductive organs and things like that, you want to look at the
Mm-hmm.
chakra that is connected to that space, which is going to be
Mm-hmm.
your sacral and your solar plexus. Is going to be connected to the space where you have the fibroids. And that's where you're going to see the imbalances. So whatever you see, like what does a sacral imbalance look like? What does a solar plexus imbalance look like? It'll tell you, like, not having the right diet, trauma, sexual trauma, like different things like that. And that literally will cause, like, because that's a buildup. Fibroids are a buildup of it.
Mm-hmm.
cells. So you
Sis.
want to think like, yeah, what are you holding on to, right? And
Dr.
that's
Jewel
where it's coming
Pookrum.
from.
Yeah. Dr. Jewel Pookrum has many books, and she breaks down what causes them and how to get rid of them. Dr. Jewel Pookrum. You can find her books on Amazon.
Dr. Jewel, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see any others?
Somebody, they be fading away so fast. Somebody said
I
something about
know.
my poetry. I don't know. It faded away so fast. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. The whole thing, poetry and the fairies. I'm not sure what the question was though.
I'm looking. Hold on. They have great items at the dollar store for altars. Yes, they do. It don't gotta
Yes.
be expensive.
No. You can
Mm-hmm.
find stuff. You can, especially if you find a toy, always keep that one. Put that on your altar.
Right. It says, thank you both for sharing how this I'm a late bloomer into becoming aware, and I'm also and so into learning about myself through spirituality. You're not late bloomer, you're right on time for when
You
you
right
were
on time.
supposed to do it.
Mm-hmm.
hmm
Mm-hmm.
They said they did this on the show Magicians. That is a good show. I
Mm.
be watching the metaphysical shows. Magicians is good, and it's the if you want to see something about a cult, you got to watch them shows because they put all of the little tips and tricks and the spells and the
All
little
of that.
tidbits all
All
up
of
in
that.
there.
Oh, y'all
So
welcome.
that's a
Thank you. I'm
good
glad
one.
y'all enjoying it. We ain't boring. I'm not, I ain't
Yes.
gonna say mook, but I know I don't want to be boring y'all. Thank you.
No,
Hey,
I don't.
Terrence.
Hey, thank you, Lamar
Thank you, Lamar
Thunderbird.
Thunderbird. Thank you.
So yeah, that's all I seen. I can't. I already can't see, Tiff. So they ask
What?
me. I'm
Give me
seeing
your
as much as
glasses,
I can
girl.
see. I wear glasses and still can't see. The only person that wear glasses and still can't see. That don't make no sense. It says, "What
Thank you
tools
for
can
the
I use
message.
to
Oh, you're
handcraft
welcome,
fairies?"
Angela. Hey, Shanae. Big facts. What tools can she use to handcraft fairies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can crochet them. Paper
Mm,
mache. That's a way to do it. Or they can take a little pottery class. Yeah, there you go.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
This one says, from Tisha 333. It says, "Advice for someone who will jump to help someone on their healing journey but neglects their own."
Well, you can't help nobody.
That's a fact.
That's it.
That's what it is. You can't until you do your own work.
You
You
trying
you
to
are
help
no
yourself
help to
through
no
other
one.
people. You trying to help yourself
That's
through
what it
other
is.
people, but you got to start with you, and that's when you really, you know what I'm saying. You tell them if you don't have a reference point, you are supposed to be the reference. So if you telling them about things, they gonna look at you and be like, "Well, I ain't working for you." You see what I'm saying? So internal, turn to you. Everybody
Right.
else, they gotta wait. You need you.
Shania said, "I was sharing that my daughter's poetry would love your fairy altar. She would light up." Um,
I'm put some lights on there and everything. Just wait. It's about to be
okay.
on and popping.
Shanti said, "Have either of you worked with Lilith? She's coming up for me."
Oh, it's just another dark one. I haven't
Yeah,
worked with her. No.
I haven't worked with Lilith, but she is in the same realm of dark feminine energy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've seen Lilith come up a few times around social media and different stuff like that. So I think that's just representative of that dark feminine energy is coming
Yeah,
online.
and they can
So,
come through other goddesses. Like a lot of them correspond. So Lilith can
hmm
come through like a segment or a Wajet or something like that. It's,
or
it's, it's still one and
Kali,
the same. There
or
you go. Yep. Hmm.
it's the same similar energy. So,
Right.
yeah, I think that's the bulk of it. So I would like to personally thank you and give you your flowers while you
Oh,
are here with us and with
thank
me. I'm always
you.
going to give you your flowers. I am
I
so
love you so
grateful.
much.
Yes, I love you, and I'm so grateful that you do what spirit asks you to do. That's all. I'm just like, please, just do whatever spirit asks you to do, Tiff, because it literally gives me the confirmation that I need. Like, oh man, I'm so glad. I keep seeing this
Y'all
eight
so
eight
welcome.
eight. I see this 888 one more time.
Resurrection.
Listen, it's here. And so it's like I'm just grateful that spirit led you to do a thing that led me to do a thing, and now we are here. And I'm
Love you
just so
too,
grateful
Star.
that you stayed on your path, and it don't get no better than that. Like, I'm grateful. I'm like, please just keep this one, protected and guided and doing whatever the mission work is. Even if I wasn't to see you on YouTube, I would still say, that's my dog. I don't know where she is. I'm gonna meet you in the astral. I will be looking for you in the astral realm. Where
Thank
is
you, Kevin.
Tiffany now? I know she in here
Listen,
somewhere.
but I I thank y'all for being patient with me because I'm Aquarius, but I just turned into this introvert. And so I like, I'm by myself a lot. And so now it's just like I'm reaching, y'all teaching me how to open up and you know what I'm saying? That's it's kind of hard for me because I've been burned so much. And so I'm healing that part of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm being an example, I'm healing that. So thank y'all. Thank y'all for loving me and, pulling me out of my comfort zone and just
That's
being
a
you.
fact.
It's not another mook. Because everybody who come to when I was Tiffany Messenger, they would come to a Mook sent me. I'm Mook. And this is before I'm like, I don't know who this is. Isn't it? When I was the majority of the emails I got was because of you. So
I'm
thank
telling
you.
you, I'd
Thank
be
you.
like, go, 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 because I was like, I don't care what y'all say. You all right with me. I don't care what y'all say about this. You all right with me. No, like it's okay. But I was like, I did early on because when you are early on in the journey and you don't know, like I'm talking about, I went through so many phases of this journey, like to be, and nobody was as transparent as you see someone like Bobby be, or you see someone like so transparent. I'm like, and I was like, I love that you were very transparent about it to the point, and I mean, I've got on here and told the Soul family after the fact, obviously. But I'm like, there was videos. You can go back and look. And this is why I always just love doing videos in the car because
Girl, ain't nothing like the
I
car.
was homeless. So I had no choice but to do the videos in the car. I had nowhere else to
Yes.
do the videos.
Yep.
And it just was a testament to this is where I'm at. And I'm gonna do my work regardless. I don't care, in a house, in a car, on the side of the road, wherever you're gonna see me do my work. It was
Yes.
nothing was gonna stop me from doing what Spirit was asking me to do. And that was the initiation. And I don't regret
Yes.
not a piece or a part of it. So
No.
to see you come on and be so transparent about everything and all the experiences, I was like, look, this is what it is. This is my
This is
soul
what it is.
family.
And you feel so like you don't have to put up no airs and you ain't gotta be like, I gotta get my makeup on. Who got time for all that? I really want to just connect at the heart.
Literally,
I
just
don't want
connect.
just be you. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna always be me. All that extra stuff I can't do it.
And it's not necessary to get the
Mm-mm,
message out either.
mm-mm,
So
mm-mm.
I'm
Because I
like
remember saying this because I
grateful.
hear a lot of people be mean, like spirituality. You got to be mean, or you got to go off, and you got to. And it's like no, no, mm-mm, mm-mm. You ain't got to be disrespectful. You ain't got to be all those things. Those people who still got that inner child that need to be healed. When you see that,
hmm
they just need some loving on. That's all. Don't take it
Right.
personal.
Ain't
Yeah.
never been, a lot of them just have never been, some of them ain't never been popular in their life. So now they get online and now they got a little bit of, so now they feel like they can do those things. And it's just
Mhm.
projection. So don't let
Mhm.
people,
Oh,
make
thank
you
you.
feel, you know,
7. Mhm.
appreciate that. No,
Mhm.
like, people feeling like they're any better or above or anything. It's like, no, we walking this, if you on this path, if you listening to the sound of my voice right now, we on it
Mhm.
together. There is
Mhm.
not a day that goes by where I am exempt from dealing with the same things that everybody else is dealing with. Like
Yes.
this is just, I just happen to be the one that has to share.
Yes.
That's just it.
Yes. Hey, no.
I,
Hey, girl.
sorry.
But it was the one thing about being transparent is I found myself like I don't want to say this because I'm be embarrassed, and just the fact that I felt that was like okay, nobody ain't got
Mm,
no money. Nobody don't even know if I'm gonna eat today. I have nowhere to go. You see what I'm saying? It was like, but it was so many of us out there. And
yeah.
it was like, okay, this is what you got to do. And I had to really get into my mind and get out of that struggle and survival mode and really embrace abundance and wealth and prosperity. You know what I'm saying? And
hmm
and then your reality changes. It does.
It does. It starts to open up. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful that we're here. I'm grateful we could give this,
Thank y'all for tuning in, family. Y'all
broadcast.
made
Thank
this.
y'all.
Thank you for inviting me. I had a good time. I had a good time.
Yes,
Well, I had you on the podcast, and now you had me
I
here.
know.
So it's
Yeah.
gonna be
So
many more, right?
right, you got a room here. So if you ever want to come over,
I'm gonna have my
we've got
toothbrush
room.
in my
Yeah,
in my
bring
in
your
my
spend
night
a night
bag.
bag. Yep. Bring your spend a
Thank you,
night bag.
DeAndrea. Thank you,
Thank you. Thank you so much. So
DeAndrea, the Empress.
yes, love
Yes.
that. So y'all know, and where do they find you? Tell them all your
Oh
information,
my
Tiff.
goodness. Okay, y'all can find me if you have. I do fairy readings. I do spiritual consultations. I do dream interpretations. I just started tailor made inspirational voice notes And I do fairy dust. You can reach me at tiffany'sloveheals@gmail.com to inquire. That's Tiffany'sloveheals@gmail.com. And yeah, just inquire, and I'll shoot you over the information. I'm on just, and I'll have the, I'm on YouTube, of course. And then mostly I have on all my videos, the link to my podcast in the description box. So go over there and listen to my podcast. I'm on TikTok and
The
Instagram, but I'm not really
podcast is
active.
so powerful,
I love
y'all.
the podcast. That's my favorite.
Love it.
Yes.
You said you on TikTok and what else?
I'm on TikTok and Instagram, but I'm not really active as
Okay.
much. Yeah, but yeah.
So it'll be in the description, y'all. Y'all gotta give me a little bit because I'll be trying to figure out my stuff. I'm not
Well, just
savvy,
go to one of my
but I'm gonna
channels
do
and
it.
just
Oh
and
yeah,
copy and
and
paste.
well,
Yeah.
yeah. Tiff's gonna be. I'm gonna put her video in a link to one of her videos in the description, but all of her information, her Cash App and all those things. What's your Cash App, Tiff?
She said, "I see you, Sisters Queen. Can you say it again?" My Cash App is Tiffany Powers 78. That's capital T, capital P. Tiffany Powers, TiffanyPowers 78. That's my Cash App. My email is Tiffany's Love Heals, TiffanyLoveheals at gmail.com. And it's in the
Powerful,
description box on my videos on YouTube. All that information.
powerful. I love
Yeah,
it.
I
Okay.
love y'all. I just want y'all to know I love y'all.
Yeah,
Please let
that's
us
it.
hear y'all once more. Y'all are so strong and powerful. Aw, honey, I'm
I love
hugging you
it.
right now. Thank you.
Yeah, it say don't forget about that book. I got you. Listen, I'm gonna have to go back and listen because I always say I'm gonna put it in there, and I'm like, dang, I didn't told him 15 things I gotta put in the description box. It's about to be a whole
Oh,
goodness
encyclopedia.
gracious. I know, but that's okay. I'm gonna get the most important stuff. Y'all don't worry about it. I'm gonna get the important stuff to you. Okay,
Yes.
but yes, thank you. So we out of here. Peace. I love y'all. Thank y'all for
Peace.
coming in here and just communing with us, and just know, if nothing else, you got some people right here that y'all can go to and figure out the pieces of the journey that be hard to figure out. Okay.
Please and thank you. Yes.
So I love y'all. Look at that 111. Okay. Peace.
Peace, fam.